do not want providers for real. They want immature men with money. Yeah. They want men who base their status off of how much money they have in their wallets. They want men who lead with their wallets. They do not want a man to genuinely be a provider in their lives. For those of you who are new here, I'm a certified life coach. I specialize in love and relationships, self-development, and finances, and I have been doing so for close to a decade. Because let's think about it. When we go onto social media now, we talk to any of the young girls now, what they talking about? He got to have some money. He got to have some bread. He got to pay for this. He got to do my nails. He got to do my hair. I'm not going on the first date unless he dropped $200, $300, $400, $5 million on me. There's nothing said about character. There's nothing said about integrity. There's nothing said about ambition. There's nothing said about goals. It's just how much money does he have? And the men who lead with their wallets are typically the men who have nothing going for themselves because they reel you in financially. They know that that is the most attractive thing about them. And because they know that's what they can offer, and you guys have made it abundantly clear that that's the only thing that you're looking for, they're winning. They're going to always come out on top. And then when you're in that relationship, because a lot of y'all are lover girls at heart, like let's call it what it is. You want to listen to the Shira Sevens and all of this, and you want to be a gold digger and a sugar baby, and you only with a man for money, but that's not really who you are. You want the relationship. You want the love. You want the commitment, right? You want the reassurance. You want the emotional connection. But see, when you don't get that, you're mad. Men are this and men are that. No, baby. You wanted the nigga with some money, right? You don't feel safe with them. You don't feel secure with them. You don't feel like you can actually build a future with them. Because again, they know you have taught them. And like I said a million times, if y'all want men to be different, you have to be different. And what happens is women in general, or women in this category at least, has taught men exactly what they want. Exactly what they need. So they don't have the need to build character or integrity or any of the other moral things that will be really important, like in a person that you're going to spend your life with, right? Or in a person that you're going to at least invest in for some period of time. So you get the lame nigga with money and stick with that. Don't complain about that, because that's what y'all said that y'all wanted. When you grow and expand your mind and develop and put time into yourself and your train of thought, and get off of social media and stop listening to all these bitter women on social media who are either trying to get your money or they themselves have not been able to attain the love that they wanted, and so now they flipping the script. When you actually invest that time, you will find a man who will give you his last. You will find that generous man. You will find a kind man, but you have to be the woman that is deserving of that. And the woman who's deserving of that is not looking for lame men who lead with their wallets. Stay safe.
Woo! What's going on, y'all? Nick here, and I'm with my brother.
This is James Eugene, and that's a good ass life coach. How you doing?
uh, I'm
How
doing
you
good.
doing, Nick?
I'm doing good, man. We got a very good one for y'all today. You know, as you guys can see, this is called Modern Feminism Overlooks Working Class Men. We see it happen all the time, right? Like we have men who they bust their ass. They probably the plumbers, the construction workers. You know what I'm saying? They just got an honest living, and a lot of times these men are overlooked pretty much because women just want men with money. That's the unfortunate truth, right? Um, I want to give a quick shout out to Johnny X Torpedo. He said, "What's good, fellas? What's good, my brother?"
What's up?
Mario in the house, gang, gang, shalom, brothers. Hey, shalom, my brother. So, yeah, this was gonna be good. Yeah, I really do think. I would say one thing, and I'll pass it off to you. You know, I can't help but feel that like she said something towards the end where women are getting advice from other women who are damaged, don't even have the fruit to show, you know, the advice that they keep pushing. And I was just thinking about like I was watching O'Shea Duke Jackson the other day, and he was exposing like Kendra G, because she came on the Paul Pierce, you know, talk show, and Paul Pierce was just like, "Yo, you got a man? You married?" And it's so funny, like when you ask these people this question, a lot of these girls that's giving other women advice, they themselves are not married, and it's so weird because it's just like at that point in time, is that not a grifter? Like if you don't have the fruit to show for it, you're just grifting. You yourself are not married. You don't got
Mhm.
no fruit to show it. Yeah, it sounds cute what you're saying, but if you don't got no fruit to show, then it's just like, yo, what are you saying? Um, so what's your thoughts, bro?
She said a lot of good things, man. Especially like women are training men to just have money and that's it. Because if all you're looking for is money, then the man that you want is gonna have money, but nothing else. This is, and the thing is too, this is why a lot of men are not getting married because they look at Jeff Bezos, they look at Elon Musk, they look at all these rich guys getting divorced, Bill Gates, they're looking at Tyreek Hill, they're looking at all these, rich men, and they're getting divorced. Akon, right? So
Right.
it's just like these guys are getting rich and these women are divorcing them and they're getting half of their stuff, half of their money. So hey man, it just becomes a vicious cycle. You train men to get money, the men get money, but now they don't want to get married, so now they use you as prostitutes.
Mm. Yeah, well said. So let's see some other clips here. This is actually coming by way. I don't know if you guys can see it. This is coming by way of Dad Saves America. Please support that channel. But it says Christina Hoff Sommers, modern feminism ignores working class men. So let's see what they gotta say. Also, if you guys, if you enjoyed the video, please like, subscribe, comment down below. But let's just get right into it, y'all.
I think that if you looked at the average male, female in the United States and looked at the deficits and benefits of of the sex, what are the advantages to being a man? What are the disadvantages? It turns out that it's just a complicated mix of blessings and burdens. There are ways in which men are privileged and ways in which women are. And it's impossible to say who's better off at this point. And it also depends on the complex set of advantages and burdens, and it varies by social class and so forth. But it's absurd to simply say the women are so much worse off and the men are. I mean, I think it's a central fallacy in feminism. They fail to notice, well, let me put it this way. I think too much of the feminist movement focuses on men and women at the very top in professions like how many CEOs of Fortune 500s. And it's true, there are far more men than women, and it would be, I would like to see more men who are, senators and just at the top of their profession. But what happens when you look further down in society and people who are not, in the top 10% in terms of education and elite degrees and so forth? It's a different picture. If you look at working class men and women, it's, both have burdens and challenges. And one of the special burdens that a working class young man has is he's likely to be less educated. And he's entering an information economy where, as I keep saying, education has never been more important and literacy has never been more important. And we have a large cohort of young men coming along who are not going to find a place for themselves in this economy. And so the fact that we have a women's movement that has only looked and primarily focused on some imbalances at the very pinnacle of society and not looked at just the reality of the lives. And to be more specific, if you look at, they'll talk about the wage gap, and that's true. There's a gap, and we want to close it, but I think we have to be honest about it. It's not as extreme as they say, and most of it's explained by the different jobs men and women do, or how many hours you work per week, things like that. But also men do most of the dangerous jobs. There's a huge gap in mortality in the workplace. Like, I don't know, something like 5,000 Americans die in the workplace every year. 94% of them are men. So that, that's, and then it goes for, that's mortality, but also it's true for injuries. And I mean, men do most of the dangerous, gritty jobs.
What's say for you, bro? Because I mean, we've touched on this many times, but is what she's saying true? Does it have any validity? Men do more of the dangerous jobs, and if so, why is that overlooked by women? Why is that not valuable to women?
No, for sure, it's very true. I mean, look who does like police officers. Who's the police officers, the firefighters, who's putting out wildfires in forests, like who's doing crisis emergencies when hurricanes and tornadoes and earthquakes happen, majority of men, like the men are like the engineers of bridges. Do you know how dangerous that is? And they have to maintain it. It's not just building a bridge, but you got to maintain the bridge for years and years and years. Electrical work up in the wires. That's extremely dangerous. All of these jobs men offer themselves to take these professions, right? So there is validity in this. The reason why women overlook these men because we have television, we have social media, and everything is people are glued to their TV and they're being socialized through music videos, through books, through through magazines, through movies. All of this forms of entertainment is geared towards getting that rich man. And you're overlooking that, that genuine working class man that probably will love you.
Yeah, I see Mario Mojica in the house saying that nah, they know the facts. They're just being delusional, being right in their own eyes. Yeah, I think that's a good point. It's weird, man, because it's like I think we live in a society now where unfortunately the luxuries that we afforded is to the detriment of men. Like I think men weren't overlooked when these things were absolutely necessary. Like right, like when the men were going out and hunting, the men were valuable at that point in time because they absolutely needed it. And matter of fact, truth be told, we still absolutely need it. But there's almost like this illusion that we exist in because of the comfort and convenience we're afforded, right? Like through the city life, right? Where people obtain their food, but they're disconnected from the process by which the food actually came, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like they didn't actually, deal with the cultivation of the cows and all these stuff, those farm animals. They didn't have to hunt for these things, right? So you just assume that, oh yeah, like women say, I don't need a man. Like everything that you have, right, is provided to you because of the man. For you to
Mm-hmm.
say that is like you're saying that from a point of convenience where I just go to the store and I purchase these things, but these things would not even they would not even be in the store. They wouldn't even be
Mm-hmm.
provided in these stores if it wasn't for men who actually, put in the work to actually provide these things. So
Yeah,
it's coming from a place of ignorance, honestly,
it
and
is.
it's extremely sad. But by and large, as a result, she's saying that it's creating pretty much this this infatuation where only the pinnacle is the word she used, the pinnacle, the dudes that are on top. And
Yeah.
please stay tuned, y'all, because if we have enough time, we're probably gonna go over a Kevin Samuel video as well that explains this. But let's actually, dive more in.
Jobs where you're outside or pitching tar or on top of roofs or construction. These are largely male undertakings, and that has to be factored in when you're doing this calculus of well-being. And but we don't do that. We just don't do it. And that's I'm still a feminist. I believe in equality, but that means you care about men and women. And you don't see, as you mentioned before, you don't see it as a competition where you have to be on one team. Because I think that also if men are in trouble or boys are in trouble, so are women. We're in this together. So what we're doing now is so perverse because by not attending to the education of young men, there's going to be a mismatch. People typically marry someone with a similar education. What's going to happen? I mean, we know what's happening right now. A lot of people aren't finding each other. There's a lot of loneliness. And I just don't think the solution is to focus on one sex and not the other.
I want to come back to the relationship issues, the gaps that are widening. But one of the things that it seems like is happening for girls.
You know what's crazy? Can you press pause?
Yeah.
You know what's crazy is that they said that, the boys are not being educated and there's going to be a mismatch, for women to find mates.
Hmm.
But I find that crazy because it's just like, why is it's a mismatch when women are trying to find mates, but when a guy was more educated than a woman, it was never a mismatch? Like literally
Ooh.
speaking, our grandfather from my mother's side was more educated, went to the school system than our grandmother. It's not to say that she was dumb. She was educated, but not in terms of academics. Maybe more like life, maybe like life education, being a mom, being a great maintaining her household. But is this we never say that when men date women that are not as educated. We never say that's a mismatch. We never look down upon them. We never have trouble finding mates.
Bro, you're cooking, bro, and that I think that's the thing, right? Is like men do not hold women to the same standards that women hold mental. But you see, this is in actuality, that is the definition of the hypergamous nature. Like women are that is the definition. They look for suitable partners that's at the equal or higher. And this is why terms like monkey branching even exist in the first place. Because if a woman perceives that a man is higher than them or higher than the man that they're currently with, they're gonna just swing to the next branch because they're always trying to find a way to get higher and higher, right?
Yeah.
They don't look at the dude that's on their level, and this is the thing that Kevin Samuel used to say all the time. Like, you look, you're average at best, and just be content with an average man. But in social media, they're always pushing for a certain caliber dude, the pinnacle, as that woman suggested. And so, if you're constantly looking for that pinnacle, what you're gonna do? You're gonna find yourself in a situation where every single woman is chasing after the same dudes.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Let's go.
That is maybe more exaggerated in our times right now is what Jonathan Haidt's been noting
Mm-hmm.
about the impacts of social media in particular, and that the anxiety, the self harm, the general psychological profile for girls seems to be collapsing farther faster than boys in response to their screen time. How have you looked at this? How do you understand what's happening to boys
Yes.
and girls here?
At first, I thought that Jonathan Haidt, whom I greatly respect, but at first I thought he was exaggerating and it wasn't that bad. But I'm convinced that something is amiss, and it does seem to correlate with the rise of times girls spend on social media. And I'd be very worried as a parent. I mean, I think people are worried. I will say this. It's another reason that we should attend to gender differences because there's these disparate impacts. So I think it's clear to me that as we pull back on recess, that had a very bad impact on boys. And schools have, by the way, cut back from you go. A lot of parents think it was the way it was when they were kids, but it's not at all. Some schools don't have it at all. But with girls, I would think social media, there may be a disparate impact. And Jonathan Haidt has shown evidence that there is, and it's a reason to be aware. I mean, to attend to the differences and how it may affect kids. But I will say one thing: there's one of the reasons teachers might give that they want boys to write about their feelings, and they want schools to be more feeling centered. Is that they think this is necessary to combat the dangers of some unhinged masculinity or something. But there was a very interesting study by I think it was Amanda Rose at the time. She was at University of Pennsylvania, and she interviewed a huge group of adolescent boys and girls and asked them how they felt if they had a terrible problem. How did they feel after they talked about it? Did talking about it, talking it through, make them feel better? And she asked this, 14, 15-year-old kids. And the girls said, absolutely, they felt better. They were so glad they could talk about it with their mom or their best friend. And the boys, with huge disparity. The boys said, first of all, they thought it was weird And that was the main word that kept coming up, and a waste of time. And it didn't make them feel better. And we have a lot of evidence that this is.
It's funny, right? Because I think that is the issue too, right? And I've seen it as a former teacher back in New York. I've noticed that like the way they teach in a cookie cutter system. Like they try to make everybody the same. And here's the thing, right? Like dare I say, it's almost like it caters to women. The school system does. And they forcing these men to tap into their emotions. They trying to force these men. Men are not women. They're not women, and this comes from that whole mindset of like we are equivalent, we equal, and all this other stuff. And it's like, yeah, like we equal in terms of importance, but like we biologically different. Like we don't even got the same hormones and in the same volume, right? So it's like men, you talking about emotions, and that's not to say that men can't talk about their emotions, but we talking about like, does it make you feel better though? A lot of men are solution oriented. If you feel like shit, talking about you feeling like shit and it gonna make you feel better, the only men are gonna look at it like, bro, what's the solution? That's gonna make me feel better. If I like, I'll give you a perfect analogy, right? If my car is not working, I'm not gonna, girl, do you know what happened to my car? That doesn't make me feel better. What's the solution? What is there something wrong with the transmitter? Is there carburetor? Do I gotta open up the hood when my car could start running again? Then I'm gonna feel better. This is what I'm saying. Like men, go ahead, bro. What you got?
Nah, it's no, yeah, you're right, man. You're right. We just got to understand that we're socialized differently. We have two different, like we may have similar interests, but we're gonna view the world differently, right? Men, it's sad that they took out recess. A lot of schools took out recess. It's horrible that they did that because that was the time when men actually played sports outside. They ran. They got a chance to stretch. They got a chance to cut loose, but you take that away from them. So no wonder they're doing poorly because they're being confined and suffocated in this one room. And you're telling him to sit down when boys have so much energy. That's what testosterone is for, to exert energy in your force. But these schools are, they're so stupid nowadays.
Yeah,
Like it's a tragedy. It's America's own fault that they're reaping they reaping the repercussions of what they sowed. So they can't blame anybody but themselves. Everything that happens to America, as far as the decline of men, is America's own fault.
agreed.
This is a difference. So most people rush in and say, well, that's not good for the boys. But actually, what they found was that the boys were a little more stoical and could sort of compartmentalize and move on. And the girls were ruminators. When they had a problem, they wanted to talk about it, and they thought about it, and they ruminated. And these psychologists concluded that maybe girls would be better off if we encouraged a little more stoicism. Rather than spending all our efforts to get the boys to be ruminators and constantly talking about how I felt and what it meant, and which most of them don't want to do. And any mother of a boy will or father may know about this. But what if it turns out that that's adaptive, and that what the boys are doing is may be helpful to them, and maybe we've in this highly therapeutic society where we're so focused on people's emotional states and things. Maybe girls have a tendency for that. Maybe we've exaggerated it, and now they have to cope with all of the highs and lows that can be brought on by social media and what people are saying about you, what's going on, all that. It may be just impossible. So it just may be unfortunate that all of these things have come into play at once, and the sensitivity of girls, which we have encouraged, is helping, adding to the misery.
It strikes me that there's something kind of perverse at play with this focus on therapy and on talking about and ruminating on problems, partly because it seems to me like when you conjure up the feeling of something that was painful, you essentially re-injure yourself to
Mm.
some extent. To some extent, you relive the experience. And it seems like there's a feedback loop there that is not fundamentally healing, but is actually sort of a multi-layered traumatizing that goes on.
Everything is classified as traumatic that used to be just well,
Normal.
first of all, if you think back to how children grew up in the previous generations, I mean, life was a lot harder. And I don't wish a hard life on my child. And I'm guilty of being a helicopter parent as much as anyone else. It's just, it's impossible not to. But on the other hand, I recognize that my parents were more aloof. They were too busy with life to, and challenges and three kids, and they were very young. And they, basically they just didn't pay that much attention to us until, you had to be home at 9 in the summer before dark. I mean, and I don't ever remember them calling up a teacher or anything. I didn't want them to have anything to do with my school. And now parents are so involved, and the child, I'm worried that they're really not learning basic skills of just how to deal with the challenge of life. If you talk to psychologists now, and they've had to increase their numbers at colleges, practically all the kids have a diagnosis, and they're coming for they can't solve the problem. They don't like their roommate or something. They don't seem to have the skills to deal with adversity. And so that's something else and I think Abigail's book was a great reminder to parents that there might be a better way than treating everything as an occasion for examining your inner feelings. Sometimes it's better just to move on.
Man. And I do want to give time for the video of Kevin Samuels, but I think that's the thing, bro. Like she said it, everything is not an occasion to examine your feelings. That is very profound. Like everything doesn't have to be talked out. And women, I love women, but that's one thing that for the married fellas out there, I'm sure y'all experience this all the time with your wives. Like they want to talk things out, and it's just like to one extent that's good, but there are times as a man it's just like, listen, there's nothing to talk about. Let's just get this. Let's get to the solution and move on. Because she said that in the talking things out, sometimes what you find yourself is, I think the man was saying that sometimes you find yourself like almost like reopening the wound,
Mm-hmm.
right? And it's just like I hear
And
it.
women love that.
No, women love that because they
Women
love
love that.
they love drama. They love like that all drama shows like drama, opera, what is it, soap operas, all those stuff, right? That
Mm-hmm.
caters to feelings and emotions. Women love to just immerse themselves with the feeling of pain and hurt, and they love being in tune with the emotions. And here's the thing, right? I don't even want to change women. Like women are women, and that's how they operate. I actually think that is a good balance, and the Most High made it that way for a reason. I'm not by no means. I know the women said maybe they need to be more stoic. I don't think so. I think that's what makes women women. Be
Mm-hmm.
in tune with your emotions, but
Yeah.
let the men be men. Let
Yeah.
them be men. And the thing
It-
is, I think to tie it into the whole this whole general topic of like our blue collared men, or is the working class men being overlooked? I think in by nature, the way the school system is designed, where they always have to do these group meetings, and they gotta, it all caters to the feelings and emotions, right? Do men even thrive in those environments? And if they don't, maybe that's the reason why they're not doing as well in school. Not because they less capable or they not smart. No, men probably just generally don't care about those type of environments. So they're gonna opt out to do the plumbing, the construction, the jobs that they do thrive in. Look, let's just get this work done. But
Mm-hmm.
now, what if that type of work only, it equivocates to a certain income? Now, do we see where that wage gap,
Mm-hmm.
probably starts to creep in? Because if women are in tune with the emotions and by and large, having a bachelor's degree, a master's degree, PhD, there's a bunch of talking involved, right? A bunch of
Mm-hmm.
talking involved when you pursue these things. Um, so yeah, you might see a lot of women are thriving in those environments, right? But by it's going to create this wage gap.
I think too, the way we think is designed specifically for that reason, right? Because if men are taught to, okay, something happened to you, move on, they're looking at the bigger picture. We're looking at the macro. Women being ruminators, they're taught to look at the micro, right? And that's a perfect balance there because remember, the man creates the house, the woman creates the home. The man is looking at the bigger picture, what we need, and the woman is looking at the details. And that's how it should be, right? And I think it's designed that way because women tend to focus on, intricate small details that men overlook. Like, oh, like things like, oh, certain name brands of foods, certain things for babies that need color coded things. That's nice. And there's a place for that. But men is just looking like, okay, what's next? What to do next? What's the next mission? What's the next mission?
We
You
got
know?
hey bro, we got our arch nemesis in the house, Sugar Bum. Nah, I'm joking.
Yeah.
Nah, we call Sugar Bum. You're not an arch nemesis.
But you
Sugar.
see what I'm saying? Is
No,
this like
no, hold
the
on.
macro and micro?
No, I agree. Sugar Bum said maybe men should level up, and they'll be seen. And
Level up. But you
it's
see, here's the thing though. Who's the thing is? This is the thing that when many women say that, let's actually take it to its logical conclusion. If men did the same job, then we wouldn't have these other jobs that makes the world go round. You talk about level up. Where's the farmers going to be? And we need food. That's the most important thing that we need. The most essential thing that we need. But if everybody's a doctor, where's that's going to be? Where's the food going to be? Where's the farmers? You can't have everybody do everything. You can't have everybody do the same thing. Some people have to. This is why we have diversity in jobs in order to make the world go round.
Nah, bro, what you're saying is absolute facts. And, I don't want to dwell on it too long, but in essence, right? I mean, that is what they call just in basic social studies, right? If you guys recall, one of the first topics you touch on is civilization, right? And like how did men become or go from rather nomads where they were wandering about and how they learned how to settle down when you're building civilization, one of the first things they had to do was specialization, right? Specialize, meaning everybody needs to occupy
Yeah.
a role. And so you said it right, bro. Like if everybody's the doctor, if everybody levels up, I mean, then the basis of society is actually not accounted for. The food, right? The home over the roof over your head, is not accounted for because
Can you do a Google? Can you do a Google search? Look up how much the average farmer makes a year.
in income.
And these are the types of women that women overlook. The most important job that we have in society is food, and women overlook them. Look at it.
The average farmer
Average farmer in America.
in income. I put male in income. My apologies. Make
No problem. No problem. It doesn't matter.
the average farmer income. Can you see it by the way?
Yeah.
The
Is he a six
average.
figure man?
Say that again.
Is he a, based on what it says? This is he a six figure man?
Wait, I'm reading it. The average farmer's income varies significantly by farm type and source, but the median annual wage for farmer ranchers and other agricultural managers was 87,980 in May 2024. That's pretty good, actually. The farm household, the median income is different. all the farm household. In
Hmm.
2023, commercial farm household had a median farm income of 167,000, while intermediate and residential farms had much lower median farms. So yeah, man. I mean, I
Look at
would
this. Intermediate farm households,
with
62,000
where do you see that?
right there.
Oh,
Intermediate.
yeah, intermediate farm household. The median farm income was 1,974, but the median total household income was 62. So the total household income, which
Hmm.
is could be a bit deceiving, but that means that's everybody that lives on that farm. But
But
that
but now look how much work he had to do just for that.
nah, I mean, if anybody does work, if anybody ever worked on a farm, that shit is a lot of work. That's a lot of work. And also, I think this is also, again, very misleading because the farms that generate six-figure incomes, these are like mega farms, people that like they produce for everybody, the supermarkets. But the average farmer, they're not making no damn six figures.
That's what I'm saying. So it's just like you have one of the most important foods, the most important professions. They're not even touching six figures
So
on average.
sugar
And
bum,
look
you
at what about teachers? You think teachers are getting paid six figures?
no.
So what are we talking about here?
Sugar Bum says modern men aren't marriage material, in my opinion. Just so we could understand, what do you consider marriage material, Sugar Bum? I'm just curious. But let's actually go crazy gardeners. Also, if you do it right, it can be super profitable. Agreed. I agree. It could be super profitable. I also think too, just to go there before we go to this Kevin Samuels video, because it's gonna dive into what we're talking about. But I do believe doing it right. Like if any business, by the way, right, is not profitable in the first year. Like if we're talking about starting a farm from scratch, like if I say let's start a farm, after buying the land and buying the materials to maintain that land, you're gonna be at a loss. The farm equipment. So in order to see like, and these are the kind of things too. Like if that's the case, are you willing to stick it out with such a man who's on the up and coming? You know what I'm saying? Because again, it's business.
But this is why they have subsidies. This is why farmers every year come to the government for money.
Agreed.
And now, if the government doesn't pay the farmers, just the other day, we talking about ICE kicking out all the illegal the immigrants, and now these farmers have nobody to pick up their crops. So a lot of these crops are going bad. So they're at a loss right now.
Yeah, but let's actually check this out because this is actually going to bleed into how women tend to overlook like the average man. Um,
Welcome back to No Filter Dose. Tonight,
also, this is coming by way of No Filter Dose, so please, support that brother's channel, as well as the original Kevin Samuels channel as well because they, keep his legacy alive, y'all. But let's check this out.
To have, which I, as long as he
Kevin Samuels' original channel to keep his message alive. Let's get right into it.
can you hear me?
Who's good enough for you?
As long as he can provide at least 70% of the income for the family that we decide to have, which I would like to have at least 2 children.
How many do you have now?
I have 0 children currently.
Okay.
And mentally as well. I do not, I mean, in an ideal world, I would.
Also, please like the video, y'all. If you guys, those of you who are tuning in, please like the video. All right, let's get it.
Not like to have to work to, help provide.
What state do you live in?
Oregon.
Oregon. How much would it take for a family of 4 to live a middle-class lifestyle in Oregon?
With the numbers that you talk about, I'm actually not positive because
Give me a number.
I think that a combined income of middle class here would do that.
Give me a number.
You give
me a number.
Maybe a combined of like 150K would probably suffice.
Did y'all hear that? 150K. That's the average household, according to this one. Let's go.
$150,000 in Oregon. 150.
And you know what's so funny, James? I'm sorry to cut this off. James, you and I actually been to Oregon, remember?
Hmm.
We
It's
lived in.
beautiful.
No, it is beautiful, but do you think that's accurate? 150K to live in Oregon?
Nah,
Not at all.
not at all. It depends on where you go. Just like
Sure,
I think,
anyway, any place, right? You could
yeah.
go to Portland, which is probably the inner city, and it's probably going to be
Salem.
more.
Where we was at Cottage Grove, but there was like Salem, Eugene. All these different places.
Bro, okay, let's keep it a buck. There are no place in the United States that's more expensive than New York and California. Can we agree?
Facts.
So
I
if
agree. New York, California, and Connecticut.
ain't no place in the United States that's more than those three.
Yes.
Do you need 150K to live in New York, California, and Connecticut?
No.
So why would you need 150K to live in Oregon? But you see, this is the kind of stuff. This is the kind of stuff.
There's something wrong with this.
I'm telling you, there's got to be something wrong, y'all. There's got to be something wrong. The expectations is ridiculous. But let's go. Let's go. And you're gonna see why average men are overlooked.
Okay. And of the 150, you'd want him to be making 105. You'd still want a man in the top 10% of earners. Because you'd ideally not like to have to work. Okay.
Well, I mean, honestly,
No.
you can have a high value.
No. I'm talking. I'm listening. And I'm doing my part. I'm listening to what you said. You want your kids to be able to go to a private school, magnet school, this, that. You want them to have a middle class lifestyle. All right. 150. But you said you want a man to be able to provide 70%, ideally 100. But you'll take 70. 70.7 times 150 is $105,000. That's still men in the top 10% of earners. Okay, at 29 years old with no kids. Did you go to school? College?
Yes. I am in the dental field.
What?
I'm in the dental field.
All right. How long have you been watching my program?
On and off for a few months.
All right. So men who are in the top 10% of earners, you know the questions I ask. How tall are you?
I am 5'4". I am about 160.
Dress size?
I know my pant size. I don't think I know my true dress size. My pant size is 6.
Dress size? You're 5'4", 160. You're probably about a 12.
Yes, 5'4", 160.
You're about a 12. 10, 12.
Okay.
10, 12. And the thing is, see, that's still wanting a man who's a much higher earner. And this is where it gets to be an uncomfortable conversation because all you ladies seem to want these men, but these men who made themselves the best version of themselves, who have to be in the top 10, they want women that look good, pretty, beautiful and gorgeous is what they really want. Fit, feminine, cooperative, submissive. So would he be getting a fair deal?
Excuse me?
Would he be getting a fair deal based upon the things that most men want?
Yo, that's crazy.
You see, and he said it, right? These are the hard conversations. Would he be getting a fair deal? Because you have, Sugar Bum on the chat say, you can't be an average man wanting pretty women when your funds don't equate to pretty women. But now you see how Kevin Samuels literally just flipped it? Now, if you desire the top, the cream of the crop, man, are you qualified? Almost like what's that dude that got viral? Pop the balloon. Aaron, was it Aaron? They call him Ninja Turtle. I forgot the dude's name. But he like, you're not
Mhm.
qualified, Queen. You know what I'm saying? Like, are you qualified? Real talk though.
Yeah, but she. That's the thing is, it's like women don't consider that these men want. It's the same way that women have standards. These men have standards too, right? And and it's from a logical perspective, if majority of women is going after the 10% of men because of they want a high value man, there's simply not enough of those men to go around. So these men are going to share women. You're getting community dick. You're getting that. You're gonna get the guys that want polygyny. He's gonna screw along with so many girls because all the girls are flocking to him. They creating the imbalance. The women is creating the imbalance here.
Yeah, I agree, bro.
It just makes no sense.
Let's get it.
I mean, from the fitness standpoint, you're born with what you're born with as far as physicality, your face and everything, right?
Yes.
But the fitness thing is something that everybody can do something about.
Yes. I stay active and I do work out. Am I working on being
Okay,
more
ma'am,
fit? Yeah,
ma'am,
sure.
ma'am. This is where
Yes.
it becomes uncomfortable because at 5'4", 160 pounds, you weigh about what the average American man weighs. He's 5'10" at 168 pounds. You're 8 pounds less than the average American man.
Okay.
And see, this is why people start getting saying you're being rude and this and that. But who's going to have these conversations? Because you got women up in Boston and Oregon still wanting men who are these high earners to be able to facilitate 2 children and women not having to work. One wants 70%, the other one, or you want the same guy. Pretty much in Boston or Oregon. And I'm like, well, what is he going to get from you? Yeah. What does he get for being a top 10% earner and all the other stuff? What does he get?
You know, if it comes down to what I guess you're saying a 21-year-old can provide versus
a
what I can provide.
21-year-old? What is that 21-year-old? I said 21-year-old. I said, what does he get?
The same thing that he would get, like I said, from a 21-year-old. I can't say that I could give better than that, other than things.
No, you're not getting the same thing as a 21-year-old, because at 21, arguably you were 21, you were 8 years younger. You had 8 years less miles on you, and presumably you were in 8 years better shape.
You see, you see, the silence is deafening. The silence is definite because it's just like, and this is what's so sad because what was it? What possessed her to even bring up a 21-year-old? Unless if psychologically, deep down inside, she knows that a 21-year-old probably offers more than her. So now subconsciously, she said that I could offer the same thing as a 21-year-old. You see, this is painful.
The thing is, they presuming.
No, go ahead, bro.
Sorry, you're going in and out. I was saying they're presuming to know what Kevin Samuels is trying to say. So this is why they give those knee-jerk responses.
Yeah. Look, and here's the thing, right? I think this is what's so ironic behind it all because Kevin Samuels gave her grace. He said that, look, we all born with what we're born with. You can't change your face for the most part. But the things that you can control, you can work on your character, which is why he said feminine, right? Friendly. That's why he mentions those things. You can work on your character. You can work on your fitness. If you know what she said, 5'4", 5'4", 160, or 5'3", 160. But you see, and again,
yeah,
this is the kind of stuff where
5'4",
5'4", 160. And this is what he say, like, is he getting a fair take? And some people are like, oh man, don't fat shame and all this other stuff. It's not about fat shaming. As you're gonna see, Kevin Samuels proceeds to talk about, what happens. Matter of fact, let's see his train of thought. I don't even want to ruin it. Let's check this out. All right, let's make sure you guys can see the screen. All right, let's check this out.
See, here's one thing that you ladies don't seem to take into consideration. Men are visual. And many women today just say, F it. I'm just going to be me. I mean, the nose ring thing, that's not helping you. Being 5'4", 160 pounds, come on, you need to lose some weight and get in shape. I mean, I can't be the first. But it's like, what I've noticed is many times on my platform is many women have been basically like, well, he's gonna pick me or nothing else. Guys are choosing nothing else.
Wow.
Because women tell men what they think they deserve by their attitude and their appearance. And simply by most women's appearance. Now, I'm not going to make this about you, but by most women's appearance, by just simply choosing not to be in shape, you're telling men that they don't deserve much. Because let's say you met the guy of your dreams and you guys got married and you were 160 pounds. You got pregnant. You're going to put on 30 to 50 pounds. That means you're going to go from 190 to 210 at 30 years old and have another kid. You're not going to drop all that weight like you would have dropped in your early years. Likely he's going to have a wife after 2 kids that's going to be tipping the scales around 200 pounds.
And here's the thing, right? This is absolutely true. This is absolutely true. And at that point in time, and see, this is the thing, right? A lot of times, if you tell your woman this, like, hey, babe, you got to lose some weight, is that disrespectful? Can we have these type of conversations? Because it's, again, when men and women don't go through the same thing when it comes to pregnancy. The women have to endure carrying that child. And as he stated, you're going to gain up to 30, 40 pounds. And so if the man is saying, it's actually to your benefit, woman, to be in the best possible shape as possible. One, it's healthier for the child too. Let's not even go, because we don't look up the obesity and how it affects child development. There's many miscarriages due to women being overweight, but that's another story. If you're now talking about, look, you're going to gain weight, it's to your benefit to actually be in the best possible shape, because when you do gain that weight after having that child, at least you might not snap back 100%, but at least you have some chance. Now, is that something that's disrespectful? Is it? Let's have these conversations. I see Sugar Bum in the chat saying, was he aware 70% of black men are overweight? Okay, that's a fair question. Okay, now I don't even think I don't know the statistics on that. I don't if let's suppose that is true. Again, is the
It
man
don't matter. It don't matter.
Go ahead,
It
bro.
don't matter. You want money. You want a high value man.
You're right, bro. It don't matter. A man is not the one carrying the child. That's what I'm saying. These are the kind of things. And you say, nah, Sugar Bum says it's mostly sounds hypocritical. It's not hypocritical. It's biology. It's biology. Let's keep
So
going.
the thing is,
Go ahead.
we're experiencing like a in and out. Like it's kind of hard to time when the responses are like over and stuff like that.
Now go ahead.
But it's asymmetrical. It's asymmetrical biology. We don't function the same. You get pregnant, we don't get pregnant. You gain weight when you get pregnant, we don't. You have your menstruation, we don't. It's a biological asymmetry. So if you want a high value man and all your focus is on money, then you don't care anything about anything else. Like the first lady said when we first came in, right? If women all they want is money, that means you don't care about morals, you don't care about how he treats you, you don't care about his background, you don't care about none of these things because all you focus on is in the money.
Well, hey,
That's the problem.
Sugar
So it
Bum.
doesn't even matter if he's overweight.
Hey, Sugar Bum is saying biology? Question mark. Are you aware women have eyes? Are you saying women don't want to be sexually attracted to their men? Mm. But again, you see, now you just said it, right,
You,
James?
if you want money, yeah. I mean, the first lady that the first lady that we had, the first lady that we had, she laid it out perfectly. If women all they want is money, then men is gonna lead with money. They don't care about anything else. This is why prostitution is such a rampant profession right now. This is why these girls are in OnlyFans, right? This is why modern relationships is become a cesspool of a microcosm of prostitution. Because these women, all they care about is money. They want their nails done, their hair done, they want the Birkin bag, they want eyelashes, they want all of these nonsense, but you don't care about anything else. So it's you with it's women with these crazy standards that created the relationships the way it is. You don't want farmers. You don't want guys that make less than six figures. You don't want these average guys. So this is what you get.
There's something wrong with this.
Hey man, let's go.
At 5'4", 190, 200. And men who have to earn 70% of the family income, preferably 100%, either way, it's over six figures. They're saying no. Would you agree or disagree?
Sure, we can say I agree. That's
Well, how about
fine.
this? Have you ever dated a man seriously who earned over $100,000 a year?
Over 100,000? No.
Okay. Okay. Then why would he have to be that to marry you?
I mean, when I think of my husband, I don't primarily think of his income, honestly.
Well, yeah, you do, because you want him to be able to pay 70 to 100% of all the family income. You better think of his income. That's what you said.
Yeah, I guess practically I should be thinking about his income, but when in my brain, when I'm thinking about who I would like to marry, his income is not the first thing that comes to my brain.
Okay, well, most men don't earn that. This is where the conversation also gets uncomfortable. Average people get average people. What's average income?
I would say probably around 70K.
You black?
Yes.
Yeah, the average black man makes $41,000 a year. That's average.
You see, and this is what I want to get into. Women fundamentally don't know men. They don't know men. They don't understand reality. Even her idea of what average is a lofty. You get what I'm saying? It's like their minds don't even compute what a true average man is. This is why I played this video, because this is why the average man is being overlooked. This is why the blue collar man is being overlooked. This is the reason why the working class man is being overlooked. I mean, you just even in the chat, y'all look at the chat. Sugar bum, I know we have this funny banter going on, but you mentioning it. You're mentioning it, sugar bum. You're saying that look, um, we want it all, and we want him to be attractive. Be attractive while getting money. I believe people get what they can negotiate, and then you see that the fingernail painting and hey, look, I get it, sugar bum. I mean, you want what you want. Look, that's the reality, and I think this is the thing, right? You're entitled to that. You're entitled to that, but just understand that if you want those top men, they also entitled to what they want. Just like you said, James, they have their own standards. These
Mhm.
top earners, do you think their standard is the average regular schmo Joe girl, the average girl? And if you, that's what I'm saying. If these guys' standards is that they finna be running through all the girls that they could find, they on a mission. I worked hard to make this money. I don't care. I'm trying to just collect as much bodies as possible. Then just understand that's the guy you searching for. Go ahead, bro.
Look, let's not play games. You see these men, these athletes, these football players, these basketball players, these soccer players. You see the caliber of women they're getting. They're getting either the IG models or these fashion runway models. We see it. Money gives you access to these types of women. You see that. And you see the old rich men with these young girls. Leonardo DiCaprio is in his goddamn 50s and he's still trying to bang out these 20-year-olds. Once they turn 25 years old, they're gone. You see it in real life, these movie stars who they dating. You see it. Not everybody is that jaded, but you see the majority of them how they moving. You see? And the thing is, right? Here's the thing that I really want Black people to understand, right? If two people, a man and woman, both making 50K a year, that automatically makes you six figures. That
He,
automatically makes you six
but no,
figures.
no. And James, surely you're not talking about teamwork.
Oh, that's too hard for us. That's too hard for the Black people, huh? If you guys are making both 60, I'm not so good at math, but if two people make 60K a year, that's 120. If two people make 70K, that's 140.
Come on, bro. Come on. You laying it
If
down.
two people make 80K, that's 160.
Teamwork? James, you can't be talking about teamwork. Surely men and women cannot work together, bro. Stop that. Stop.
Because all I ever wanted was some teamwork.
And then Sugar Bum just mentioned just now, right? Black men don't want to be partners; they want to be leaders. You see, and that right there, that you don't understand teamwork. You don't understand teamwork. You see, that's like Scottie Pippen getting mad at Michael Jordan, saying, "Oh man, you just want to be the leader." No shit, he's the leader. It's Michael freaking Jordan. Who? Look. I know everybody want to think that they're the top dog, but sometimes you got to understand who you got on your squad.
Mhm.
When you recognize the Michael Jordan, move out the way. Michael Jordan was punching dudes for not listening. I get they're not mad after those 6 rings though. I promise you. They're not mad when they got to the Hall of Fame just by virtue of being attached to him though. I promise you. They're not mad when they got the matter of fact, 6 figure, that's too small. 7 figure income just by being attached to him. I promise you.
Mhm.
Sometimes you gotta understand who's on your squad. Let them do him. Oh, but my man ain't Michael Jordan. That's your problem. That's your problem. You see, no, a lot of people they can't lift up their man. They can't lift up their man. It's so amazing because you never see these men drag their women. You see, many men, just by virtue of succeeding, they're gonna pull their whole family up with them. But when the
Yeah,
woman starts succeeding, they want to just shit on their man. It's
yeah,
crazy.
yeah.
Relationship aren't basketball terrible, and there you go, sugar bum man. We're
You
trying
see,
to
but
help
you
you
see,
here.
you see, the thing is, here's the thing. This men have always learned and been socialized to work in a team. We've
That's
always been socialized to work in the military team, the police force team, firefighters team, sports team. What are women socialized? The women are not socialized to be in a team.
no, no, they're
This is
not.
why they're so individualistic. They look at one person, oh, he's not qualified enough. So let me just move him aside. That's not what men do. Men say, okay, he's not up to par, so let me build him up.
Hey man,
That's what we do.
you know what's so crazy? I was never in the military. I would never presume to act like I was. The closest thing there was and the name is not important, but I remember doing like I was under. He was an ex-marine, and we had like this boot camp ish type of thing that we had to do. And literally, do you know what, bro? Do you know we got punished if you were found by yourself? If we had to use the bathroom We had to literally
Mhm.
bring a partner with us. If you were more than this is no cap. If you were 6 feet apart from your partner, that was automatic push-ups, and they purposely did that because they wanted to drill teamwork. I could
Yeah,
not take a piss without my partner.
yeah.
This is the kind of stuff they instill in the minds of Marines.
You know,
I had a whole profound new outlook on the Marines and what they go through.
you know why though, right?
Because you can't be by yourself in, you know what I'm saying, in the midst of battle.
Exactly.
You can never leave your man stranded by himself. If they get hurt, you have to drag them along with you. Do you know how many people
Hmm.
were limping at the end of that course?
Yeah.
Mind you, I think we were there for about, I think it was at most 2, 3 days. And that was just a sliver of what they had to
Mhm.
go through because I think it's called Hell Week.
Yeah.
It's called Hell Week. And some of them even have a whole 30 days, a whole month of
Yeah.
this type of stuff. But
And,
they
and
don't.
and the thing is, I think the thing is, sugar. What's her name? Sugar
Sugar,
Maid.
sugar bum, sugar bum.
Sugar Bum, right? Sugar Bum. She knows in her heart that relationship is about teamwork. It is about teamwork.
Yeah.
You know, like we've. It doesn't matter if the wife stays at home or if she goes out to work. Two incomes coming together. That's teamwork. The man doing what he needs to do, the woman need to do what needs to do. Raising children is teamwork. You got good cop versus bad cop. You know the disciplinary and versus the healer. That's teamwork. If I bring home the bacon, you cook it. If I'm paying the bills, clean the home. If you like, it's always been teamwork. If I'm mowing the lawn, you do the laundry. If you're cooking, then I'm probably fixing the roof. It's always been teamwork. Like, why we keep denying this?
Man, come on. Let's get it, bro. Let's get it. Matter of fact, because of the sake of time, man, I hate to do this. I actually do have to head out. You guys, it's been real. Love you all. You know, watch the original video. You get what I'm saying? This is coming by way of no filter dose. And you can also just support the actual Kevin Samuels channel as well. But if you guys like this video, please like, subscribe, comment down below. It does help the channel out a lot. Even if you watch it on the rebroadcast, if you see there's a new feature on YouTube called hype up the channel because it also pushes it out further along. And we enjoyed the conversation, even the friendly banter. Sugar Bum, you're always welcome on this channel. There's really no hate. I actually think it causes good dialogue. Um, I really do believe that, as you said, James, just to echo your statement before I head out, we got to work together. We got to work together. And I think a lot of times in working together, don't overlook the average man. Like majority of people, look, I'll even throw myself on the bus. I'm average. So don't be trying to go for someone above your league. But the same be said in reverse. Women, many of you are average. But if y'all all chasing the pinnacle, the 1%er, you
Mhm.
name it, I don't care what name they give it, the high value. If every single one of y'all are chasing the same dude, then just know what it comes with. That's why you're gonna be cheated on. That's the reason why you're gonna be run amok. This is the reason why these dudes are not loyal, right? Right? Because they the top dudes. They don't owe
You,
you nothing. Go ahead, bro.
I think honestly, I think everybody's average.
For
And the
sure.
reason, the thing that makes us stand up, the thing that makes us truly stand out is our talents. That's what set us apart and separates and puts us in leagues, right? Like everybody's average, but your talents is what makes you creme de la creme in your specific field. And if you truly work and harness and work on your talents and make it grow, that would definitely set you miles apart from everybody else. And I think the Most High did it like that on purpose. Everybody have different stats, but hey, you know what? This discussion was a very good one. I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your day. Please subscribe, please subscribe.
Right on, yeah. With that being said, Nick, James.